Hey guys, welcome to the Field of 68 YouTube channel. If you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button and you'll get more college basketball content just like this. Big news. The Almanac is officially back. The most exhaustive and comprehensive guide to the 2023-24 college basketball season is available for pre-order now. If you go to cbbalmanac.com, link is in the description below, you can pre-order for just $15.99 or 20% off the sticker price. The format is going to be a little bit different this season. Instead of an 850-page PDF, you'll be getting access to the full site with league-by-league PDFs available for download. The preview will be live on September 20th. So you have until then to be able to get your pre-orders in. So for insight for all 362 Division I teams from their head coaches and the experts that cover them, make sure you hit that link. Speaking of having the talent and trying to get the best out of somebody, the other really intriguing team in this conference is Illinois. And they are always intriguing because it feels like there's always something going on there. And this year it is the question of who the hell is going to play the point for Illinois. Is it going to be Terrance Shannon? Is it going to be Ty Rodgers? Is it going to be Coleman Hawkins? Like, what are we doing here, T.O.? Who's playing the point? Who is Daddy Brad going to trust to run his basketball team?
I'm assuming he said that Terrance Shannon Jr. is going to do some of it, and then they listed Ty Rodgers as a point whenever they were on their trip. That's interesting because I always considered him more of a 3-4, but yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. So I think, Terrance Shannon needs to do what – I know this is going to be a long way out of the left field comparison, but back when Steph Curry played at Davidson, his idea was I'm going to come back for my sophomore year, and then after that, I'm going to play point my sophomore year. I'm going to give it up, and I'll turn back into a two guard. I think that's what Terrance Shannon needs to do, especially once the season starts. Like, yeah, sure, you can bring it up, but once you get rid of it, then you turn back up into the 17-point-a-game guy that we have. So, and I think Underwood will be able to put those guys in position to succeed. He's going to be able to draw things up and put guys to where they're comfortable scoring the basketball. Gibbs Lawhorn, the freshman, I think he went to Montverde, but he's a talented kid. He's a guy that's going to come off the bench. Could he step up into that role? He sure is talented enough. He was supposed to go to Purdue initially and then got backed out, and then now he's going to Illinois. He's a big-time athlete. He's only 6'1", but there's a lot of skill there. Could he step in and give you, 10 to 15 minutes of quality production at the point? I think that's a big thing. Quincy Guerrier's tough. Coleman Hawkins, we all know about him and a good five-man that could step out and do some things. Is he going to show up consistently? He showed flashes of that last year. Illinois has talent. It seems like they're always going to have talent. Who's going to right the ship when things get out of line? That's when you get concerned with Illinois, because times you're going to need to settle down who's going to be that guy, because Shannon, he's going to go off and do his own thing. His natural inclination is to score. Let me rephrase what I say there. His natural inclination is to score. Who's going to settle the team down?
You know what I think they need to be? Tell me if you think this is a crazy take, Fanta, because it might be a little bit of a crazy take, but I'm here for the crazy takes. I'm here for the hot takes. I think they need to be what Texas Tech was in 2022 in Mark Adams' first year. If you go back and look at that team, they don't really have a point guard on the roster, right? They kind of have a bunch of dudes that are all about 6'6" to 6'10" and really athletic. And they kind of built this identity around, like, you ain't going to score on us. It's not going to be all that pretty, but we're going to win with defense. We're going to win with toughness. We're going to win with athleticism. We're going to win because we're older and more physical than you. And we'll do enough offensively and on the offensive glass and kind of turn turnovers into pick six layups at the other end. And if you do that, right, if Illinois can be a top 10 defense with a guy like Terrance Shannon, with a guy like Coleman Hawkins, with a guy like Marcus Domask, who's coming in average 4 assists at his last stop, with some of like the young pieces, Luke Goody, you mentioned Dre Gibbs Lawhorn. I think that there's enough there to be a top 20-ish kind of a team. But I think Illinois fan is permanently going to be a team that I think can beat anybody in the country and also can lose to anybody in the country on any given night.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's what they've been, right?
Yeah, forever and ever. That's what Daddy Brad is.
And look, he's done a very nice job of getting the program, which went 7 years without an NCAA tournament berth, and getting them back to the big dance floor, that the expectation, that the minimum under Brad Underwood is that they're going to dance. They're going to find a way to the NCAA tournament. Where your defensive take comes in on how they could be defensively, here's the thing. They're old. They're old. In the almanac, Brad Underwood called this team cerebral, that they know how to work. They know what to do day in and day out. And their track record on defense is good. They've been a top 30 KenPom defensive team in the last 3 years. And a couple of years ago, it was in 2020-21, they were 7th in the country in adjusted defensive efficiency. But they've been around 26, 29. They've been right there on that end of the floor.
They've been good defensively with Kofi Coburn. Okay? They've been good defensively with Kofi Coburn. That tells you what you need to know. Also tells you what the Big Ten is like.
They've been great defensively with Kofi Coburn. But they were good defensively last year. They were. They had a good year on that end of the floor. They also had to be good defensively because in the half-court setting, they struggled. Why? They shot 31% from downtown last year. And that seems to be, Terrence, maybe that's the trend in this league, is that you've got physicality, rugged nature of games. You do have some star players. No shortage of star players, right? There are star players. But the playing style then, when you get to March Madness and you face a little guy, quote unquote, how does the little guy get in any game? They knock down shots over you.
Yep.
And that's something that's hard to equal if it's not a strength of your team. To me, Marcus Domask is a key piece to this team because you're talking about a 3-time all Missouri Valley Conference selection who, as you said, he's averaged over 3 assists. He averaged 17 points per game last season. So they need him. They need Goody to be knockdown guys. Terrance Shannon, Terrence, I understood what you said. Like, he's not going off on his own. The point is he's going to get his in games. Terrance Shannon Jr. is going to find his way to 16, 17, 18 points. But Terrance Shannon Jr. needs to show that all the work that he does, and he does a lot of work. He's up every day at 4:30 in the morning. He works his ass off. We've heard that story before.
Which is ridiculous, by the way. Like, you can be a hard worker without waking up at 4 o'clock every morning to go get shots up. Like, that just seems like an unnecessary waste of like time you can sleep and rest and recuperate your body. You don't have to be up before. Get up at 7 and go shoot. You don't have to be up at 4.
Hey, good for him. The point now is he's got to be a connector. Coleman Hawkins and Dane Danger have to be connectors. If you're an old team, you know what wins and you know what loses. You can't run it back and do things the same way. To start the year, Shannon's got to, in my opinion, be the point man. And then if they can be able to get to a point where they can really fully hand off the keys to Ty Rodgers, if Ty Rodgers is capable, this is a top 20, if not top 15 team.
Thank you for watching the Field of 68. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, hit that like button, share this link with your friends, or check out the description for some other places that you can consume Field of 68 content.